This is just what life is like with a family. Meant to write this, record this like a week and a bit ago, but life got busy. So anyway, here's the third in a series I was doing on outdoor swimming on a budget and making it cost effective. For this, I was talking about training and events. Events are probably my biggest expense, followed by training, because they're the frequency of it. And so this is where I'm really cutting costs massively. Normally I do a couple of events in the year or a really big one. When channel swims cost, a couple of grand to borrow the boat, hire the boat even. Well, I'm trained enough for that, but also cost-wise, that's off my list for definitely this year, maybe next year. But even with my preferred distance of 10k, you're looking at kind of 100 quid for the event, and therefore that's just something I have to think very carefully about if that's something I'm doing this year. At time of recording this, I am actually going up to Scotland for the Winter Swim Champs this weekend, and that's something we booked in advance before kind of the cost of living spiraled, and we'd allocated for, and so we're kind of using this as like a last hurrah of swim events which are far away. I plan my training around events, and so in doing less events I'm going to have to restructure my training to be more different goal oriented, and that might be technique, it might be pull splits, speed and splits. Haven't figured that out yet, but choosing, mainly because of cost, I'm doing very few, if any, events this summer is going to impact my training. And another step to that is that I've cancelled my pool membership because I wasn't going enough, and that means I can pay as you go. I needed to go about 7 times a month to make it worthwhile for my monthly membership, so I thankfully was able to cancel it. I know sometimes you're locked in for a time period, but it's worth checking. So yeah, I'm doing a pay-as-you-go thing, which is weird. I haven't done that in a number of years. I've also stopped going swimming with a club, which I got so much out of, but at the same time I couldn't afford the fees, and also committing to a regular swim session with a young baby and family and stuff just wasn't possible at this moment in time. So that's another thing I've done. I've really reduced my training spend in terms of not having regular outgoings, and I'm just literally just paying for the swims I do, which is more expensive per swim but cheaper overall. I am feeling the detriment of that, in that my training is a lot less structured, and there's no one to kick me up the ass if I'm not training hard enough, because even though I do coach, I'm the world's worst coachee because I know all the excuses that will work on me. So there's that. What's my hair doing? Anyway, back to swimming. That I've actually expended on a couple of things which have been really helpful in my training. So I signed up for, I've got some Form goggles, which are like tech goggles, and they've got a stopwatch in your eye line. They do a membership where you pay monthly and get a database of workouts. I decided to redistribute some funds towards that because it means it's like 17 quid a month or something, or you can pay yearly. And it just means I've got swims that I don't have any excuse but to follow, because I'm literally being told set by set what I'm doing. I've also got some swim for try session in the bottles. Dan gifted me them earlier before Christmas or so disclaimer that. But they're really good as well when I don't want to follow some tech and I want to swim kind of analog, which is important. That it's a set pre-made. So another thing I found without training sessions to follow and no club attached to is that I have been a bit aimless in my training. So I just turn up, do like 10 hundreds, maybe do something else, maybe get out. So to have something to follow especially when my brain is frazzled with life. It's been really helpful to not even have to think of the swim set, just turn up, start swimming, and then just literally read the thing. Or when I'm being techie, follow it in my goggles. I try not to rely on the tech because in races and stuff you don't have tech. So that's why I use both. And then other times I'm sourcing sessions from magazines or online blogs. Amy Swims is an Instagram I'm inspired by in terms of training sets. So sometimes I see what she's done and try and replicate it. Ish. There's lots of people sharing swim sets online that you can get. Obviously doing it piecemeal, again, cost-wise it's down, but value, I'm not getting the value of a structured coaching session, so I'm really feeling it. But without events to train for, I think that's okay this year. If you do have events, make a plan and structure and go for it. In terms of what I'm swimming for this year, like I say, normally I have an event or two, like an A, B and a C in an event in the summer, and then maybe one in the winter. This year, just because of cost, that's not happening. And so I'm actually chatting with friends and seeing if we can get any kind of local challenges together, save on logistics and on entry fees. It's hard because I love events and I don't begrudge paying for events, because I think for what you get, like, they have costs of hire and safety and all of that, so I don't think they're expensive for what you get, but it's just something I can't do this year. I think that's a hard thing. Like, this year, things I would normally not even bat an eyelid about spending on, I'm having to cut out because it's my hobby. And that means that swimming is going to be a very different experience this year. I don't even know what I'm going to do training wise this year, but like I said, I meant to film this weeks ago and life got really busy, so I wanted to do this last instalment of training and events and how I'm cutting costs there. I know some things I'm personally not doing, but there are options for is potentially volunteering with either a club or like events. Sometimes you get sessions or like entry spaces in lieu, so that's worth exploring. If you and some mates can swim together, that works. Or like me, kind of doing your own thing but having some stuff to follow. I heartily recommend the Form goggles and Swim for Tri bottles. They have saved me on so many swims when I've turned up really uninspired, and it's been something to follow, and it's meant my swim has been good rather than a complete washout. I hope you find ways to keep swimming even if you are cutting costs, and I hope these videos have been helpful.